Shop Talk, baby. This is the show where it's okay to be you. We're talking from Yale to jail and from the church house to the pimp house. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, we keeps it real.
Everybody know that scream, right? Y'all know what scream that is?
Thriller.
Roogle, you gotta know that scream was Thriller. I ain't pay all of it though, because we ain't paid for it.
I had no idea what was going on just then.
Oh my gosh. Happy Halloween, lovely people. You're listening to Shop Talk with Mel. I'm your girl Mel. Of course, I have my lovely co-host in the building. I got Roogle, the movie guy. I have Nick, the voice. And also we have a guest today. And our guest is none other than filmmaker Dexter Jones. Dexter, are you with us? Dexter, are you with us? Okay. We'll see what's going on with him. So what's been going on, lovely people?
Nothing. Work, and more work.
That's not good. Roogle, what's happening with you?
Man, just trying to hold on. It's like, 4 days left?
Oh, you still 4 days left? You talking about for the election?
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. Is this man? It's a lot going on.
Well, guess what? We gonna talk about the politics a little bit later, because every time you turn around, I'm tired of being harassed. Happy Halloween, lovely people. Again, I'll say happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
So, Roogle, you Roogle today.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into the swing of things and kind of change the monotony a little bit, because everybody keep talking about, the harassment of the people calling to see if you voted. And then, it's like, hello, I voted. And the harassment of, I feel like I'm being harassed because it always shows up with the COVID-19, even though we know that it's a serious event of affairs that's going on at this time. But let me tell you, I was talking to Nick before the show. Honey, I got, for the listening audience, I have a full wig on. I got these lashes on. It's a lot. This is a lot. Nick, when you be getting your stuff together, you be like, this is a lot.
It sure is.
How long does it take you to do this every day? Well, you don't do it every day. You got your natural beauty. But I mean, when you do it. Because it's something to do it every day.
When I do it, I have somebody else do all the makeup, and it take a good hour and a half. Ooh. For a makeup artist to do everything, put the lashes on. I ain't got that to do. That's why it only gets done on special occasions.
I heard that. Dexter, are you with us yet?
Hey, Mel, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. All right, Dexter. Yay,
okay,
yay.
I can't see you for some reason, but I can hear you.
Okay, well, that's all right. That's all we need, and that's all the listening audience need at the time. You know what I look like.
I'm working on it still.
You working on it still? Okay.
Ahead, I'm with you.
Okay. I introduced you at the top of the show where, as filmmaker, you did production. You did like everything. I was talking about your movie, The Journal. We talked about it. Was it last week, Roogle, or the week before? When I was talking about the movie that I was in, I did a cameo.
I think about 2 weeks. Two weeks ago.
Okay. We were supposed to do the premiere in the theater, but due to COVID-19, that didn't work out. Dexter, can you tell us a little bit? Because, see, I always spoil stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about the movie The Journal?
Yeah.
I don't know where you went.
Coming up on my Zoom for some reason. I can see it on my laptop, but I can't see what you guys. But anyway, the journal came. It was inspired by me.
It's muffled.
A good friend of mine. She lives down in Bonaire, Georgia, just south of Atlanta, and she's originally from Zanesville, but we met here in Ohio, and she moved there. But me and her was talking.
Are we talking about the movie?
Because the things that inspired me about.
1 second. We're having some technical difficulties. 1 second.
Huh?
I can't hear you. You have to stay right where you are. I was asking about the journal,
Okay.
and then now I can hear you very clear. So the listening audience, I'm
Can
sure
you hear
can
me
hear.
now? Okay. Sorry
Yes.
about that.
Okay, so
So
the journal.
as I was saying, this movie was inspired by a young woman, a friend of mine. She lives down in Bonaire, Georgia, just south of Atlanta. She's originally from Zanesville. We met here.
You going out again? You going out wherever you were? Stay right where you were.
Okay. I don't know why it's going out because I'm
Right there.
right where I was at before.
Right there. Right where you are right
Okay.
now. Yep. Go ahead.
All right. But me and her was talking, and I ran some things about her, a couple movies I had already done, and then I'd already had a script written called Checkmate, and then I was thinking about this film and ran by, and she said, you should do The Journal. It was a little more inspiring because I wanted to do a film that really had some meaning behind it, had something to give that people could relate to. And The Journal was more about giving. It was about sacrifice. It was about earning and trying to understand yourself as an individual and what you could offer, what your life is all about. And this young man, he was all about success, wanting to just, make money. It was all about him. And after getting into his accident and seeing his, he was able to see while in a coma, he saw visions of his family, he saw visions of his life passing him by, and then he saw his obituary date. When he woke up, he realized that obituary date was out into the future.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't, and while in this coma, he couldn't get into the pearl gates. And he figured out that the reason he couldn't get into the pearl gates was because he wasn't living his life right. And if his passing was to come in the future because he saw that obituary date, then maybe if he do his life a little different, he could get to the pearl gates if it happened. If nothing happened on that date, then he would just go on and live his life, then everything would be okay. But he befriended a little girl who was in the hospital where his girlfriend worked, and he met her. She needed a liver transplant, and she was just really fonded by him. In his journal, she liked it. He let her write in it, and he was just inspired by this young lady, that this girl was going through this type of injuries, and she was just in such a good mood, inspired by, just things that was happening around her, but she didn't let it bother her.
Okay.
And she, while during their interactions with all of this, she mentioned to him a statement that she wished that he could help her. That gave him a thought that maybe he could be a donor. So talking to his doctors, and was he healthy enough, they took all the blood samples, everything, to see if he would be a suitable donor for her. And during that time, it came back that he was, and he asked the doctors, is it possible that they could do the surgery on the date of his obituary date that he saw into the future? So, not giving away too much. It really inspired me to do this film because it had something to where people can take a look at their own life and see what they're doing and try to help others and just, a little giving back. So this was my first film that I did under my company, Dexter Jones Entertainment, but I had done 4 other films with another company called A Walk on Water Entertainment, where I was an actor, a director, associate producers. So I've been doing this since about 2010.
That's what I was going to ask you. How long have you been in the business? 2010. What inspired you to go into filmmaking?
Excuse me? I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
What inspired you to go into filmmaking, to wanting to start your own company?
I was a photographer. I had my own photography business. So there was a young lady that I had done her wedding photography for, and she was involved in it with another gentleman who was doing a film, and he needed a photographer to shoot at their movie premiere. So she contacted me. I met with him, and I went out, did their photos. They liked my work. And at that time, he was also getting ready, and he was doing a movie called The Buyout.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, Best Supporting Daddy, through Walk on Water Entertainment. So I did his red carpet photos for him. He liked that. He liked the work that I did. And then he asked me, would I be interested in doing some behind-the-scenes work for him because they were getting ready to shoot another film called The Buyout. So I said, yeah, I could do that. And so I went on to the set. I did a lot of their filming for them. And then while just listening to them talk about things they did, I said, yeah, you guys, if you like, you can use my home to shoot in. They used my vehicles. And then I knew a couple other places that they needed location shots for. So I started working on all that. And by the time we finished the movie halfway, we were probably about 3/4 of the way in. They needed a police officer for a scene, and I said, yeah, I can do that. So I did a little cameo appearance as a police officer. It's my first time acting.
Okay.
And by the time we got into the post-production, he had realized, he said, man, you did so much more work than a lot of the people on my set. I made you the associate producer on this because you really stuck in there. You did a lot. You inspired us. You actually put some input into this film. So, and then, so I became the associate producer on The Buyout, and I also had a cameo appearance in it. The gentleman who was doing the DP work for that was also a film producer.
Now you said the EP work. What is EP?
Like three film directors who work together.
Okay, hold on. Dexter.
Yes.
You said EP work. What is EP work for the listening audience?
Director of photography. So that's
DP.
That is your film, the guy who actually videos the movie. When they say director of photography, short for that would be they'll say DP.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. So he was writing a film called Heart of a Champion, and he needed an actor to play the father of the main woman who was a kickboxer. And so I did an acting role in that film. And from that point, it just started growing for me. We just kept going. And I did several films with them. And then I decided to branch out into my own. And my first script I wrote it was titled Checkmate. But we never we didn't get that one going because I had to delay it a little bit. My dad had got sick back in 2015, and that's when he passed, and we kind of pushed it aside. But then I was inspired to do this movie here, The Journal. So that came on, and we wrote that, and we started shooting that in 2018. So, and
I have a question for you.
It's completed, and we're just moving on to our next one.
Okay, Dexter. Now you said you started off as a photographer. So from photography, you end up being in acting roles and all the way up to now filmmaking from 2010.
Yes.
You guys heard that out there. So if you have something you want to do, just go ahead and do it. It sounds like you were just kind of led in that path. It's like, okay, I'm taking pictures and now I am in front of the big screen and now I'm making films. What would you tell anyone who's interested in filmmaking? What advice would you give them, on the ground floor?
If that's something you want to do, I would say either if you've already been in school and you worked in that, the industry is so open right now with a lot of the opportunities to now go to streaming, and you got YouTube, you got a lot of different ways to produce your films. But if you want some experience, almost every city has independent film producers or directors in those cities. I would say launch yourself under a company that has that's doing independent films and get as much experience as you can working with them. That is a very good start. And that can be done with anyone, whether you've been to school or not. I didn't go to school to be a film producer. I learned it, and I did a lot of studying, and I did a lot of work to just practice and study and Google and things, and then working with it on my computers. I built my company by really working hands-on and then doing a lot of studying behind it. So I would tell people, don't give up because you're looking at trying to get into somewhere like, Lionsgate or Paramount or Warner Brothers and those types. If you want to get in from the ground floor, start with some of the small companies and learn, and don't try to push yourself to do it too fast. It's a lot of work in there. You can't do shortcuts in this business, and you got to really understand the business, because it's just not the studying of the filming. It's also a business. So it's beyond that. When you get into, you got pre-production, you got production, and you got post-production. And pre-production is just preparing yourself for your film, getting your script together, getting your actors, getting your locations, getting everybody you need, from makeup to sound to your like I said, actors and catering. It's a lot of little different things in there that you got to think about in filming. Then when you're in filming, you got to understand the business in terms of when you're shooting, you want to be able to see and hear the sound. You got to understand what you're working with, from coloring, lighting, sound, audio. It's a lot goes on with that. And then in the post, you get into your editing and making sure the sound sounds good, and putting everything, the music in and the credits, and making sure you don't forget things. So it's a lot goes on with it. And then from there, where do you take it? As far as, when I say that, do you want to stream it? Do you want to make DVDs? Do you want to put it out there on YouTube? Do you want to sell it?
Yeah, or enter it into like film festivals and stuff like that. That's where my question would be.
Film festivals, and those are film festivals is usually the first thing that everyone downloads their films to, and then you got to understand how to do that, because some of them want what they call digital cinema. They want it in that. So you got to download it onto a hard drive that goes into those types. So it's a lot goes on to that. And then it's got to get accepted. It's just not you do a film and you can put it into every film festival. They have to be accepted into the film festivals. And then also while you're shooting, I go back to when you're shooting, you have to make sure that you don't have things in your film that is not acceptable. You can't shoot a film and have the sign McDonald's in your film and they don't approve for you using that. Okay. So there's a lot of things go on with filming that you have to understand. That's why people really, you don't want to get out there too fast and jump into it. And it's not about money. It's about trying to develop your quality and good things. A lot of people say, I want to go out there and I want to make a lot of money. And they're tied up into the money aspect of it instead of how do you make the money. You want to build your quality. You want to build your foundation. You want to build this platform to if you build it right, everything else will come. Don't get tied up into because people say, oh, you make movies, you can make a lot of money. You can make movies and not make a lot of money.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. Now, when you do, when you make a film and you want to enter it into the film festival, is there a fee, an entry fee for, to enter?
Yes. Yeah, when you enter it into a film festival, and every film festival is different. You got Sundance is a very expensive one, and they can range anywhere from $25 up to $300-$400 for each submission, and you can submit it and not get accepted, and you don't get your money back.
Okay.
So those are the things that you need to understand in this industry. And then there's film festivals all around Ohio and Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Lima, Toledo. There's a lot of them. And then Michigan has a bunch of them. A lot of cities, Atlanta. And there's small ones that you can enter them into, and you just want to be able to get your film seen.
Okay. But
again, they range anywhere from, I haven't seen any that's free. But there are some out there that's, they could go anywhere from $50 to $25 and $50. It just depends on the company or that's doing the film festival, the city. But they have them in, almost every state. I've seen them in Connecticut, Arizona, California, Texas, Austin. They're
have everywhere. You gone to several?
There's a lot of film festivals.
Have you gone to any film festivals?
I haven't, because at the time that we finished this film, everything was shut down.
Right.
Every film festival right now at this time, they're not showing any because they really can't hold those crowds in there. There's a few out there that's there's some out there that allows you to put them in, they'll view them and make a decision on them, but there's none that I'm aware of right now that is open to having crowds come in to view the film festivals.
All right, I have one more question.
Because of COVID.
I have one more question. Yes. I know that you were getting ready to do a premiere. I was excited about coming to the premiere. You were doing it. How do you get your film into like the local theaters? For the listening audience that want to know, because for some unknown reason, nobody wants to share that information.
Really?
Yeah, it's so crazy. That's why I do what I do.
Yeah. There's a lot of films, and you can notice it now where a lot of film companies, movie companies now are even offering it to the public now to rent their theaters out, but that's because of COVID. But most theaters will allow you to rent their theaters out, as long as you do it in advance. Like for film festivals, for things that we want to do for movie premieres, we have to notify them about anywhere from 3 to 6 months in advance that we want to use that location, and they will set it aside. And I believe there's a couple there in Youngstown that does that. But here in Columbus, there's several that will do it. And you just call them. You just call them on the phone, or you stop in and meet with their manager. They'll tell you, yeah, we offer that to the independent film companies. Because there's, like I said, there's film companies all over in every city. They cater to those individuals as long as you set it up at a decent time and give them enough notice. And the pricing range, it varies between what size theater you want to use. Mm-hmm. For this one, Journal, we had a 471 seat capacity seating for it. We were looking at somewhere between 300 to 350 attending back in March when it came out.
Okay.
So it ranges different depending on what size you want to do.
I have another question. In filmmaking, yes. I have a few friends that are in filmmaking, you being one. Do you find that the editing is more important in the film industry? I don't want to say more important than the actual script, because that's, the content is really important. But the editing, do you believe that the editing plays a very significant role in making a movie?
You know what, Mel? I think from beginning to end, it's so important. And the reason I say that is because if you mess it up in the beginning, it doesn't matter when you get to post, because you're not going to have what you need to edit properly.
Wait, you talking about the food, the catering? If I mess up the catering, because in the catering,
no. If you mess up the catering, the actors are going to leave. They don't want to stay. No, I'm saying if you don't have the proper lighting.
Oh, okay.
You shoot the film. If you don't have, if your director photographer isn't shooting the camera right, he don't have his camera set up properly, and everything doesn't work there. When you get to editing, you have to do so much in post and so much work to try to correct those errors that you made beforehand. So much is important in making the film as well as editing. So, but editing and all of that in post, as you can see, as you saw the film, The Journal, already.
Yes.
Like I told you, in post, there's a lot of things that I'm going back in and correcting as far as audio and things like that. There's a lot of things you don't want to do in post. You want to do it. When you shoot it, you want to do as much. So when you shoot it, it's exactly the way you want it, and you don't have to correct errors in post editing.
Okay.
But editing is very difficult. That is a very difficult process, because it's very tedious to put each scene and make them match up so that, when you're shooting and a person's head turns, you go to the next screen and that person, if they're not looking as they were before when you switch to the look off, or the audio isn't right. If they're saying a word and then you switch to the next person and you can still hear that other person's word in the next one, you got to cut that out.
Okay.
So editing is very tedious. It's a long process. That's why a lot of people do not want to do a lot of corrections with trying to fix lighting and fix sound in post-production editing. They just want to do posting the edits of the actual scenes from scene to scene to scene.
Okay. Because I was wondering about that. I was wondering about the editing part, because I know that you have to really go in and really be detailed, and I know that takes a lot of hours. I considered turning my book and play. I did a play because I felt like people needed to see it into a film, and I had the co-host Roogle. He's really quiet. Roogle is the movie guy. He is the movie critic. Dexter. So He's gonna have to check out the he's gonna have to check out your film and see, what he thinks of it. Roogle, did you get the opportunity to look at any of it? You're on mute still. You're still on mute.
No, not.
You didn't get the opportunity. Okay. And then I had Nick, and Nick was Sister Betty. Roogle was Victor. In I want to say chapter 2. I think you're chapter 2. Yeah, I think is he chapter 2, Nick? I can't even remember.
Yeah, chapter 2
in the book. How the wife becomes the other woman, found on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere. BalboaPress.com. You can get it. Your girl Mel. It's a shameless plug. I wanted to turn that into a film, so I want to get with you, Dexter, and let you read it and see if it's something that you might want to. Your company may want to pick up to do. Okay. I got this costume on, and I'm telling you, like, this lipstick and stuff. For the listening audience who can't see me, I am a bat girl. So if you can't see me, that's what I am. I got like spiders on my forehead and stuff, and and a wig and some lashes and all this other stuff, and this glitter lipstick. And clearly, y'all know Mel ain't all about all that stuff, and this is driving me nuts. I don't know how people do it every day. They face me beat to the gods. I'm like, oh no, can't do that. But back to Dexter, I'm going to send it to you and see if it will be something you would be interested in. Since you told me all the stuff, you can't have a McDonald's, you can't have this, you can't have that. I'll be like, oops. But
you can't. They do get. But if you're talking about your film into a profitable situation, companies they'll get tight about that. And then also trying to stream it. If you send it to places like Netflix or to even to Amazon, they have to approve it. So they'll go through it. They will either ask you if you've been approved to use this, and if you haven't, they won't approve it.
Oh, well, I definitely got to get with you. Now, I didn't know that you had to have a photographer to make the film. Like, call me silly, but I really didn't. I thought like you have your photographer for your memories. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I remember this, not part of the film. Go ahead.
You do need. It's good to have a photographer on the set to shoot, because when you go back to do a lot of your poster boards and things like that, you need those pictures.
Oh, okay.
You need pictures of those to build on the set from your movie. But then what they call, like I said, your director of photographer is your guy who's actually doing the movie filming. He's your cameraman.
Okay.
But a behind the scenes photographer will just be shooting, and a lot of times they'll shoot when you are saying, we just tested, we'll run through a sample of this. You remember how we were doing for each scene, we'll run through and we'll say, let's run it through and see what it looks like. Mm-hmm. Remember when we did a couple sample shots first, and then we did our set shots. So they will shoot while you're doing your testing. They'll do that when you just want a sample to see. Let's run it through, see how everything sounds a couple times, and then we'll film it.
Okay.
So that's when they shoot.
Oh, okay. Really,
you want quiet on the set. You don't want anyone doing anything when you're actually shooting.
Okay. I remember that. Look, I remember hearing that. And then I'm going to tell you one thing. Thanks for giving me my shot on the big screen. Bucket list check.
You're welcome. You did an excellent job.
Right.
I appreciate it. I'm blessed to have had the actors that I had on there, and working with them. I don't think you had an opportunity to work with Nisha Nichols, she's been on Empire, and she's been in a couple other films, and she's been doing a lot of big pilot shots in Chicago area. But I don't think you worked with her. The other guy, James Trout, he's out in L.A. now. He's doing a lot of different things out there right now in L.A. Linda Russell, she was out in L.A. doing a lot, but since they've shut down, she's back here in Ohio now. But she's probably going to go back.
Okay.
Dana Day, she was in, her and Nisha Nichols was both, they did extras in White Boy Rick that they shot up in Detroit.
Okay.
Let's see, who else? TJ, he's still doing a lot, still doing some acting, but he's working now. He's all over the place.
He's amazing.
In the United States working.
He is amazing.
Yeah, he's doing a lot. So my next film that I'm looking at with Bipolar, but I'm looking at another script that I made. I think I'm going to use him in again. But yeah, and then Don Marie, she's always been doing acting all through Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So she's out there doing her thing. She's still here in Columbus. But there was so many talented people on this film that, I mean, they really put 110%, including myself. I was blessed to had not auditioned or did any casting calls for the actors that I have.
Yes! Shout out to Alicia and James for getting me in it. Sending me that direction. Yes.
Yeah, when they told me about you, I immediately contacted you. I said, definitely have her get in touch with me.
I truly appreciate it.
And it was good because you work in that field. And then there was also another doctor who was a real doctor in the movie. So I was lucky that I let a lot of them just I gave them the lines and then asked them to just ad-lib through what they normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And she was perfect.
TJ, he was so funny.
It worked out really good.
He told me, I felt like I was in a real doctor's office. I just started laughing. I was like, well, that's good. At least I know my job. When you have your next casting call, like you said, you were blessed and you didn't have to have one there. I do have some great actors and actresses that I'll have to send your way. One being Nicole Keller, the other one, Ronald Shad, like amazing. And they're my co-hosts too, because they were in the play. Absolutely nailed it. And the characters that they played were definitely out of their, element, totally different.
Yes.
But
Yes, it was.
But when you have a casting call, you let me know, and I'll send some people your way because you're in Columbus. Am I correct? In the Columbus area?
Yes.
Okay. See, that's not far, and we got some star quality. We know we got some star quality that's from the hometown, Youngstown, Ohio. You being one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We have a lot of people in the entertainment industry. Because you're a filmmaker. We have Marquette Jones, who's originally from Youngstown, Ohio. She's with Hawk Holmes Productions, and she's out in L.A. She's a filmmaker. We have Rufus Moore, who's making music. Help me out, Roogle. You know some more people, and I'm not drawing a blank, but I don't have time to really put.
I can't think of his name, but we had him on the show probably about a year ago.
Mr. Daniels?
What's that?
Mr. Daniels? Is it Quad Daniels?
Yeah, him.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's another one, which he's from Cincinnati, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought he had moved to Youngstown.
He did move to Youngstown, but he's originally from Cincinnati. Go ahead, Dexter.
Okay. I was going to say, isn't there and I don't know if his name is Forney or...
Oh no, he just do play. I mean, not to Put away. He does playwrights. He does playwrights. He does playwrights.
Mike? Okay.
Yeah, he does
Now,
playwrights.
he did reach out to me, and me and him chatted a couple times, so.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's,
he does plays,
yeah.
which kudos to him. He does plays, and he's been doing them for a while, too. So that's good that he reached out, and then you guys can connect. All right. All right, because he's doing, and he has some great actors and actresses that act with him. John
My
Rudolph.
cousin being one of them. In fact, my cousin was in a couple of his plays.
1 second, Nick. Would you say Dexter?
I'm blessed to. Yeah, I touch bases with my brother Terrence J. He's an actor out there. So, and then a really good friend of mine. I went to college with. I'm in touch with her, and her brother married Thelma from Good. And then I know him too, Kevin Fontana, and I had a chance to, kind of interact with them on things going forward.
Good.
So I got some people out in LA that's fighting for me and working on. And we're talking huge companies for my next film, but they wanted me to finish the journal so they can take a look at what am I doing, what do I have to offer, what am I, in what direction I want to go. But so the next film, Bipolar, next, if we can get through this coronavirus, and that's a murder mystery. So a young woman who with bipolar issues, she has a reoccurrence of it from an incident that happens, and she uses a dating service to lure guys in because guys have mistreated her, and she's murdering them. Her doctor and a detective is trying to chase her down. So the detective is using the doctor to help her because he knows her patterns.
Hey.
Okay. That's that. Look. She's a movie girl too. She likes that. All right, Dexter. You mentioned early on in the show that you probably want to find like a smaller entertainment company to go with. What's the name of your entertainment company?
Dexter Jones Entertainment.
Easy. Dexter Jones Entertainment.
But what I was looking at was, when I said that, a lot of people look for, when you're trying to go with, when you're thinking of the big names, you're thinking, you got Paramount, you got Warner Brothers.
Right.
There's some big ones out there. But as you watch movies, films that's on, whether it's on HBO or on the streaming line, look at who actually is producing these films. And it'll probably be names of companies you'll be like, I never heard of them. But there are companies out there that will take your films and help produce them into large films where you can get them onto these larger platforms. So that's the direction that I'm going. I'm not trying to jump into Lionsgate and Warner Brothers and all that. I'm looking at these companies that are producing some of the other films. And who is the actual, what company is doing it? So when you hear a movie come on and it's, I'll just use my name, Dexter Jones Entertainment presents Jackson Warner Film.
Okay.
In association with Turner Broadcast. So you got 3 companies there that dealt with those films. And that's where you want to lie your scope on. Because those are your connections to moving your films. See who's doing these films. All of them have a connection. Whether it's a film, somebody's film, somebody that's in association with that film, and somebody who presented it. You got 3 different companies there.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I just drew my line and started looking and say, okay, if Lionsgate presented it, who did the film?
Okay.
And who are they in association with?
Okay. Now you're streaming the journal?
Excuse me?
You're streaming the journal? That's a question. Are you streaming the journal?
I'm actually putting the film through. I'm working with Amazon to put it on Amazon Direct Prime.
Okay.
I can still do it, but my film is a production film. My daughter is running. I put her in charge of a film company that she's putting. So it's her film under her name. I'm presenting it, but I'm in association with Bonnie Griffin production.
Okay.
So I think you met Bonnie, but she has her own production company here too.
Okay. I did. I met her.
So when I go to, if I wanted to put a film under Tyler Perry and he accepted it, even though it would either be Dexter Jones production film but it'll be a Tyler Perry production. But then we got to find a film company, and then we have to find somebody in association. But he would probably put in association with Dexter Jones Entertainment.
Okay.
But he would have his own film company that would actually do not the filming, but they would set it all up online. They would do setting the line up for, we're going to go to this company for it. We're going to go to, we'll go to Amazon. We'll go to YouTube. We'll go to Netflix. We'll go to this, that. So.
Okay. If someone wanted a copy of the journal, because I have a copy, how can they get it?
Once I get it on to Amazon Direct, I will be sending, I'll be sending more copies into Amazon's fulfillment center. So all of that will come up if people want to purchase it, if they want to stream it. So right now we're in the works of doing that, and it's just a matter of them accepting it and putting it on. And then I'll be moving to other platforms. But that's how it'll go. I'll be looking at other platforms, rather it be that of YouTube, if it'll be Netflix, if it'll be someone else. Right now I don't know all of the platforms that we're going to go with yet. Amazon is the first one.
Okay.
But we'll be going with other ones, and then starting in January, I'll probably be moving a lot of my concentration to getting the script ready for the next film that I'm going to be doing. Okay.
Roogle, did you have any questions for Dexter?
Not really. I was going to add, there is another guy that was local here, John Wilson.
Oh, yeah, John Wilson.
Yeah, he actually had a show called Mafia Ties on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still running on there, but I did watch it. It's like a series, more or less. I think the episodes run between like 10 to 15 minutes each.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Youngstown, hometown, doing it big. Nick, you have any questions for Dexter?
Can I be bipolar? I play a real good bipolar, trust me.
Only if it's acting.
Right.
Of course. Come on now, of course.
I heard that. Hey, lovely people, that is filmmaker Dexter Jones this morning. That's on Shop Talk with Mel. So shout out to you, Dexter, if you guys are just tuning in. Roogle didn't have any other questions because I know that you are a busy guy, so I don't want to hold you too long. Nick, you didn't have any questions either?
No.
Except, can you be bipolar, huh?
Exactly.
So we want to say thank you to you, Dexter Jones Entertainment. You guys could Google that information. And reach out and get in touch. The Journal I had a good time with. It's a great movie. It's inspiring. I classified it as one of those Hallmark movies. I did because it was just a nice, inspiring film. So I appreciate you. We want to give it up to Dexter Jones.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming in, listening, and I definitely hope you guys get a chance to see the film and give me any feedback that you have. And
you heard that, Roogle, right?
We're growing.
All right. Look, I'm like Roogle, the movie critic, the movie guy. He's definitely going to do that, give you feedback. And we got to get you to come back on, Dexter. You got to come chill with us.
Okay,
Yes,
I will.
All right. Y'all already know what time it is. I hope y'all, if you don't know, I'm getting ready to tell you. It's time for... Y'all know the scream. What scream is that? That is Michael Jackson turning into the monster, the thriller. We get ready to get into these hot topics real quick. And here we go. All right. Should we go into the, first of all, shout out to Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes just released new music yesterday.
I heard.
Y'all like Busta? What it is right now? I thought about being like Janet Jackson and put my little ponytail on. Make your body wet. What?
With no wardrobe malfunctions, though, right?
No, I hope no wardrobe malfunction. That was her and Justin Timberlake. We ain't even gonna do that. All right, let's get started. Let's jump right into this. Amber Rose, if people don't know, she used to date Kanye West. She puts it out there that that's how she became famous. Everybody knew who Amber Rose was. She was talking about how Kanye is still bullying her after all these years. It was a clip out. I don't have the clip handy where Kanye allegedly, since I don't have it handy, we're going to say alleged. He allegedly Kim Kardashian, Kim K, made him take 15 showers to date her because he was with Amber Rose. Excuse me?
She got a lot of nerve.
Bam! Roogle, you want to add to this? I know you don't like them, so I'm sure you got something to say. She do got a lot of nerve.
But is she still with Wiz Khalifa? Does she have a kid by him or something?
She does, but I don't know who.
Allegedly,
they're not together anymore.
Yeah.
Like I wonder how much of that is her trying to be significant versus
him bullying her.
You know what I mean?
Well, he actually does talk about her. He does talk about her, and she just feels people are reaching out to her because of it. And she said, she was like, you wouldn't know who I was if it wasn't for Kanye. She'd say that, but she's like, I'm tired of being bullied. Just please leave me alone, because he ended up calling her a prostitute. This is her words. And she was on the Breakfast Club. I had caught that. And these are her words. And she's like, why are you bothering me? Just please leave me alone. So that's where Amber Rose is at. Bullying. Do you think people still bully people as adults, people that you dated? Because if you...
that's called stalking.
Yeah, or like some sort of harassment. Like, leave me alone after all this time.
Yeah, I would think that you should move on, right?
Right. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Birkin bags. You know about the Birkin bags?
No.
Listen, well, I would tell you need to get your wife one, but I don't know, because Birkin bags, I guess the owner is saying that the Birkin bags, they depreciate in value when these rappers have them. That's what they had the nerve to say. Yes. So Cardi
made money for.
That's what I say too. Cardi B clapped back and she said that, and she has tons of Birkin bags. Now you have those labeler people. You do have those people, the labelers. And the reason I say labelers are because what they do is they pretty much, I'm trying to say it politically correct. They determine their self-worth based on what they have on or what label they're wearing. That was nice, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Nice way to put it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And
I think you could have just said superficial. And
I could have said superficial.
Yeah.
I could have said superficial, but I wanted to get a little deep. I wanted to get a little deep. All right, just a little bit deeper so that they know, especially the younger ones, you validate yourself based off of what you have. And that's not okay. As far as like, okay, well, I spent this amount of money on this. Huh? Why? We know Roogle is not going to be spending thousands of dollars on a purse. And your purse costs more than what's in it. How much in your wallet? $1. But I got a Birkin bag.
Right.
What you got to say, Roogle?
I think the biggest thing that she probably could have did in revolt to that was send all their purses back to the guy and did a campaign for people. Because what he's really saying is that he did, like, when black people wear, because he said
like Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah, that whole thing. They're not. I think ask for a full refund. For
all of them bags, because she has a ton.
She want me to, here you go. But it's just. I think the thing is that we just have to really try to invest in our own fashion. You know what I mean? Like when we start to go into these other companies and we get mad about how they treat us on the runway, how they treat us, in the advertising, how they treat us with like, oh, we bought this stuff, but then they upset we have it, but they glad to take our money. It's this time that we just move, that we don't look at those big people anymore. We say, well, where can we start to get our own things from like, for example, I always forget his name, but the gentleman who made Fubu, maybe it's time for a resurgence of what he does, to be able to give us another alternative than these people who truly don't want us
carrying their stuff. Because let's be realistic, you're talking, these are $1,000 bags. I don't know any that's less than $5,000, $7,000, $15 bags.
What are they made out of?
Leather.
I mean, are they made out of like real gold or real silver?
You would think. Now they do got a bad one. Now listen, this Birkin bag is $79,950. It's sharp, but it's not $79,000 worth. Your purse more than your car or some houses. You know what I mean? Just to say you have it. It's a crocodile horseshoe Birkin 30 Vert. That's what it's called. So if you guys get the chance to look it up, just look it up. It's sharp. It's green. And
I'm looking it up right now.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
You got it? Okay. It's the shiny crocodile horseshoe Birkin bag. BIR.
It's like a pewter color or something?
It's green, but it's shiny, like patent leather.
Oh, I see that one. There's another one on here for $195,000.
Now, that's what I'm saying. These Birkin bags, and they're saying that they're depreciating. But listen, they're depreciating in value because these rappers are carrying them. Who can afford it? That's who can afford it.
That's the only people, the rappers, the actors. Those are the only ones that can afford it.
Now
it's like.
There's a
Who
picture.
in the ring besides one of them is going to pay $195,000 for a purse? Somebody who wants status. Someone who wants status. But I feel like Roogle felt this is just like that Tommy Hilfiger thing. My clothes are not made for black people, but I don't know if he was saying it. Go ahead.
Now let's put this out there. He did say that he didn't say that statement.
Okay, yeah, put that out there. Alleged. Yeah, put that out there. But it was because, like the jeans, they were like, oh, you need to make bigger jeans for us. Well, my clothes, and I still feel like it was like when my clothes aren't made for black people. That's why they had the apple bottom jeans. Now, apple bottom did good for a minute.
Well,
everybody ain't got an apple.
I think a lot of that stuff, though, I mean, like, I don't know about the whole thing about making the jeans bigger and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like, I mean, we ain't like it's not like gargantuan misproportioned or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really understand that whole philosophy there. I mean, behind that. But
well, now cotton is, white people they thick as all get out. Thicker than a Snicker.
Well,
yes, they are.
Yeah, you got people doing a lot of plastic surgery too, though.
Speaking of plastic surgery, Kim Kardashian turned 40 years old, and she posted a photo, and the photo said, "This is what 40 looks like." After surgery,
right?
So you should be like, no, you right. Your nose is 5 years old. Your lips is 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not 40.
You know, the injections that you got in your face, you just got those last week. You're a newborn.
Right. She a newborn. Hilarious.
If we do an average, you might be 17.
Right. Right. It was a picture of her, Chloe, and I think their sister Kylie. But I'm like, after you've done everything, talk about this is what 40 looks like. No, that's not what 40 look like. I'm like, Roogle, that's what a newborn or a 17-year-old looks like now.
Get a natural sister that's 40 years old that look like she's still in high school, and I mean all natural. Then you can say this is what 40 looks like. There are some black women that are in their 60s and 70s that are still built like a brick house. That's natural. That's what it looks like, Kim. Go on somewhere with that. You just had the money to spend to get that body. Girl, bye. True.
Look, I'm like, true. Hey, Lori Lofton, the girl, the one that, the college scandal.
Uh-huh.
Well, she decided to go ahead and go on in. She has to do 2 months, and then she'll do 2 years, I guess, on probation. So she decided to go ahead and turn herself in now. Even though she was sentenced, she turned herself in now.
Oh, so she wanna start the year off fresh.
Right. She was like, 2020, I might as well just go ahead and do what it is I need to do. So she started her 2 month, they said, stint of hard times. Mm-hmm. Is it really hard times?
Well, this thing is, it's a federal crime, right? I think she got charged,
Yeah.
So the thing was, she go to the Fed, it's going to be a lot different treatment than if she went to the state. Like, if they'd have gave her, like 2 months in the county, where she
2 months in the county?
2 months in L.A. County, it'd have been a whole different thing, you know what I mean?
Aunt Becky in the county jail. Oh, it'd have been totally different.
She'd have been like, this is really a full house. I'm packed up in here,
Well,
now she's going to Club Fed for 2 days, or 2 months, or whatever.
Right. And you're right about it. It'd be a full house, be packed in there, overloaded. People on boats on the floor. They're saying that she said it's still prison. So, and there's very strict schedule. You have to get up at 5 a.m. Girl, we get up. If you got stuff to do, you go handle it. You got quiet hours from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. That's what they say, quiet hours. Now, me being a corrections nurse, they lock down at 9 o'clock. And you sleep and you get up at 5 o'clock. They talk about quiet hours. That means you lock down. You go inside the cell. You're not partying all night unless it's like Super Bowl or something like that. And they feel like letting you out, something like that. But
I mean, is that like you have to be up at 5 a.m.?
Yeah. Well, the doors are popped, and breakfast is served, and you got to come out your cell. You could come out and then go back in and chill, but your door, you're not locking that door.
So I can't sleep until 6?
No. Get up. Get up. Chow time. Get up, it's chow time. And then here's the thing. Now, she was like, well, I still have to make my bed every day. And I'll be disciplined if my cell isn't clean. So, sorry you don't have a housekeeper or a maid service or, come on. This is crazy. And then she'll only be allowed to wear, we know, your state or your federal apparel. So you can't put a belt on, none of that extra stuff. You can't belt it.
They should have learned that when Martha Stewart got locked up. Just because you got money in your status don't mean a doggone thing. You're still a regular person. If you do the crime, you got to do the time. Period, point blank. End of conversation. So when they gonna get the president? That's what I'm waiting on.
Well, everybody in this camp done went. Like, what's your thoughts? Go ahead, Roogle. She's talking about the president.
Technically, you can't. He can't.
Go when he's in office.
It's high crimes and misdemeanors. They can get a president impeached. So I think if he actually loses this election, there'll probably be another investigation once he's not president.
Because that's why he lobbied so hard to get back in office.
Yes, that could have something to do with it. You know what I mean? And then some people feel like, well, if he's out of office, should they stop pursuing the charges or whatever? And I think the issue, the answer is no. I mean, if you did a crime against, it's just, it's like being the president, he was able to dodge a lot of that. You know what I mean? But being a civilian, he may not. Now, for example, when whatchamacallit was his name, Nixon, he just resigned when he was faced with what he knew was going to truly be him getting kicked out of office. He just resigned, instead of getting impeached. But
now listen to this. Speaking of the election and of my harassment, I'm like, y'all getting on my nerves. You know what I mean? Give me a break. The guns are back at Walmart. Walmart is now selling guns and ammo again.
All right.
Yeah, Walmart's anticipating civil unrest ahead of the presidential election. Probably that comment of stand back and stand by. They're like, oh, let's just bring it on in here. Like,
well, I think their issue is that, like, they try to do something for the time being, to say, oh, we under, this whole thing is going on or whatever. Now they're trying to look how much money we lost when guns and ammo were being bought out the wazoo.
Now,
now they're going back to that model.
Now, I remember before they was like, okay, we taking it out for the safety, but TMZ reported that the nation's biggest retailer has pulled the items from its stores in efforts to keep the firearms and ammo from being stolen in the event there's a civil war. Okay. Now, it's really interesting. Remember, they was taking it off the shelves a few months back we were talking about for gun control and all that extra stuff. You remember that? It was a while back, and now they're back in the stores. Now, there was Boardman, Ohio. This was in Boardman, Ohio, small town in Ohio, suburban area. Sam's Club. A child got a hold to the mother's purse and fired the arm. She had a firearm in her purse. Mother or father. They didn't even say who did it. However,
it was the mother.
Now, this is what's interesting to me. They didn't know. No charges have been filed. Why? Because what happened to child endangerment?
What if that little girl? But see, the little girl was old enough to know better. She was 7.
Wait, and then said took the safety off.
Yeah, she was 7.
That's what the article said. Took the safety off. So you went in the purse, took the safety off, and fired the gun.
And you said she was in a store when she did it?
Sam's Club. Sam's Club in Boardman, Ohio.
Like 2 Saturdays ago.
What?
Yes. Where were you at?
I might have been there. I didn't know what happened.
They said nobody got hit, but it's just the simple fact that you're 7. You're not 2 or 3. You're 7 years old. You're old enough to know better.
Well,
I would have beat the brakes off that little girl if that was my child. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm gonna play.
How much whooping you gonna do? She didn't pop she already popped the cap.
Right. Right, already done. All right, I'm gonna play, I hate to use the words devil's advocate, but if that was a black person, and I'm gonna put it out there, it would not have been oops, it was an accident. I'm sorry. No, they're going child endangerment.
Well, I think the first thing is did the mother have a concealed carry permit? Even
if she did, it's a lot of black people who have a concealed to carry, and they will take it from you, and that would have been a reason to take it.
The point I'm saying is that, like, well, first of all, if you're a black man and you got a concealed and carry permit, you can still get killed by the police.
Yeah, and your gun can be taken.
Yeah. Because with the gentleman who died, I can't even think of his name right now, but he was the one in Minnesota when
it was so many. Where was he at?
His girlfriend went on Facebook Live and was showing the cop and showing what had happened. Like, I can't believe you shot him. I think he had like a Spanish name. I can't think of his name right now, but. Castro. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, like, the reason I bring that up is, like, if she didn't, she should be in a situation to where, like, first of all, I don't think that they I want to say Sam's Club, they got signs up to say don't bring any guns in here. I think they do.
I thought they did. I'm not for certain, but most of them do. No firearms allowed. It's there.
But if she brought it in illegally, then if she brought it in and didn't have it concealed and carried, then she should be charged for that. And I think you're right. I mean, the child endangerment thing, I think you're right too about that. I wonder where they live. And this is why I asked that, is because this is what I was told by a person that was representing that township, that they had a diversion program for their kids for kids who lived in that area if they got caught stealing or doing anything like that or whatever. And I wonder, you never know how these people are connected or whatever. But the issue is, so if you have a child that doesn't live in that area, and let's say they get caught stealing or something like that, they're going to JJC. But if it's a kid that lives in that vicinity, we have a diversion program for you.
Right. We'll make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, let's move on to the next one. In Louisville, Kentucky. A police officer involved in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor has filed a civil lawsuit against the 26-year-old's boyfriend.
Yeah.
How you feel about that? Let me say this. Let me finish this so I can get the name out there. The Courier Journal and CBS News is the ones who reported this. That Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly is suing Kenneth Walker, which is a boyfriend, claiming emotional distress, assault, and battery. Let's go.
No. I mean, and it is not so much about like what happened, but it's about like it happened in your job. Like they were mentioning, I heard about this, and they were mentioning that this would start a precedence that doesn't like, can you sue me? Can you sue me for something that, first of all, the charges were dropped. He did get charged with attempted murder, but they dropped those charges. The other thing is that, the civil suit, it's mighty strange that he's coming out with a civil suit after the family had a settlement. Why didn't he sue him from the beginning?
Good question. Go ahead, Nick.
He was in the wrong, period, point blank. You were in the wrong.
Yeah.
I don't care if she was guilty. The child was asleep. Why did you shoot her? And how many times did you have to shoot her? She was asleep.
Yeah. And the thing was, the guy...
He got shot.
I heard the comments, and he said, well, we were face to face with the guns, like he was standing up. I was like, but the difference was that he did shoot him, but he shot him in the leg. So obviously the guy wasn't attempting to kill you as he was trying to put you down, because he shot you in the leg first, right? So, don't get me wrong, you could die from a leg wound if you get hit in the right place. But the point is that if you'd have shot him in the chest or in the face or something like that, I think the argument may have been stronger. But if you're breaking into my house, he was not arrested for anything. For any crimes. He didn't do anything. Y'all had the wrong house, or
right. Everything was wrong, and they didn't. It was a no-knock warrant, and he said that they announced themselves. No, the neighbors didn't hear it. Otherwise, if you announce yourself, I think a lot of that would not have happened. They said that the boyfriend fired once, because usually you get your warning shot.
The thing is,
right? Because he thought there was an intruder.
It's how do you have a no-knock warrant and say that you said who you were?
I'm glad you caught that. Right. And see, he was talking to Michael Strahan. I want to say that was Good Morning America.
If you knock, somebody says, hello,
who is it? Who is
it? Like, no one said that. Like, so I don't believe that they knocked down the door and said, police. I don't believe that. You know what I mean? But I just kind of feel, the whole thing is ridiculous, but it's just, I think there's other motivators behind that. I think there's other people pushing for that. But it's also, this is the other thing though too, that Kentucky is having some confusion with about this, is that they have one of those stand your ground laws too. So if he wins this case against this guy, I think it's going to have some effects on their gun culture, because now if they say, well, you came into his house, he shot you because he was standing his ground, but now he gets sued because he defended himself.
Right.
So what's going to happen with what's going to happen with gun rights under this particular lawsuit? You know,
that's
what I'm
a
saying?
good question.
Because if that's the case, if you have situations like what's I'm forgetting it. When you have situations like the one that happened in Florida with the young man, not Tamir Rice,
Florida.
Tavon.
Yeah.
Tavon Martin.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick.
Trayvon Martin.
Yeah. When you have that kind of situation, now the thing is that like what that Zimmerman did would have been considered wrong, right? Because now they can sue and say, hey, you caused me some harm in your action from doing that. And they sue and win. It supersedes what that law was in place for. So it'll be interesting. But I'll tell you like this: if it makes it to the Supreme Court, nobody knows what's going to happen.
Right. You wouldn't know. Because they got what's her name in there? What's the name they were pushing?
Amy Cohen Barrett.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it might turn out that way. Now, speaking of her, and now you got me back with Donald Trump, President Trump. 50 Cent retracts his Trump endorsement. Why?
Because he got talked about like a dog.
He said, I never liked him. Boy, bye.
Because he got those shows that he don't want people to stop watching.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like he's out, he gonna mess up his money. But we know where his loyalties lie. Mm-hmm. Not with the community.
His loyalty lies with himself.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
It's whatever benefits him. Like when they were doing with Ice Cube, he gonna jump on the bandwagon. Come on, dude. Now he's saying he don't like him. You said because of the comments. Nick, what's going on? What comments? What comments were the people saying?
Oh, people was talking about him, especially when he said that if Donald Trump lost, that he was gonna move. I don't know.
Out of the country, alleged. I heard that.
Allegedly said that he was gonna move out of the country. He had to think about that because right now he kind of hot with that Power and Power Book 2, all of that Power 2, Book of Ghosts or whatever. Bruh, look who is making you rich from your rap career. Then you started acting to now you producing these shows. It's your people that's making you rich. You didn't think about that ahead of time. And then he had the nerve to talk about Lil Wayne. Now that Lil Wayne with his crazy tail had the nerve to endorse Trump. What is wrong with y'all? Trump don't care about y'all. I don't care if you got money or not.
The issue is that the taxes. They don't want to pay taxes.
That's what it was.
It's their money.
They're thinking differently because they're no longer, they can try to say that, hey, I'm a part of that culture. But when you start to have that type of money, it's kind of moving them away from what other people experience. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Well, I think like this. I just hope it doesn't encourage anybody else to look at this and say, well, I want to vote for this person because this person says it's okay. They are okay. I think they really should soul search and see what's important to them. And then when they cast that ballot to them and to their community at large, because we got people that are one note voters, and if it's taxes for because I believe it's taxes for these guys. That's what I believe. I think it's taxes. And I think it's also, how he did I think he got rid of the taxes for inheritance for rich people. Like you have to pay taxes on that money if it's so much, I think, or whatever it is. But
so it affects their pockets, and they're like, nah, they don't want that.
Right, the rich get richer and the poor stay poor. You got me messed up. You gonna have to pay taxes like everybody else. I don't care how much money you make.
Now
you gotta pay your dues. Period.
Now, we remember at the beginning of the year when we had the chicken sandwich issue, Chick-fil-A versus Popeyes.
Yeah.
Well, now Wendy's really wants you to try its new chicken sandwich. Listen, to entice you, the fast food chain is giving away free classic chicken sandwiches with any purchase using the Wendy's mobile app. So if you have the Wendy's mobile app, you could get a free classic chicken sandwich. They want you to taste it. Each person can get up to one per week. And see, the deal ends November the 8th. So my suggestion is, while you in line voting, you might as well just go grab your classic chicken sandwich and stand in the line. Go ahead, what you got, Roogle?
No, I was just gonna say the problem, because it's so funny, y'all, because y'all know I will voice my opinion. And
Yes, go for it.
Writing. So, I stopped eating fast food, but a few years ago, I noticed something different about the Wendy's chicken sandwich, and I was like, this is not what it used to be. And so I wrote them a letter telling them that Dave Thomas would turn over in his grave if he had any acknowledgement.
You wrote a letter? Are you the reason they changing it back to the classic? Are you the reason?
I might be.
Your letter must be the reason it's going back to the classic chicken sandwich.
I was like, this is not what's up. I was like, this quality is not what it was before. And like, you know, and I stopped getting them. You know, and actually I just stopped going. I mean, I don't go to any of them. You know what I mean? But definitely, you know, I mean, that was something where
Roogle is the reason that Wendy's went back to the classic. They trying to bring people back. You done wrote a letter. I'm telling you, write a letter, people.
Once they start saying, "Oh, you can get two of the sandwiches for $10," I mean, for $5 or whatever it was, you look at it. It's not. It doesn't compete with the other in the market anymore. If you. Did we freeze up?
I did a little bit. Go ahead.
No, it's here.
We can hear you. I thought that was like the music. That's my stuff. I guess it's a lot of people coming on at this time. You know, so when people come on at this time, it's like, oh, wait, a lot of connection. Hold on, everybody's using the internet at this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so what's up? Justin Turner celebrating on the field despite the positive COVID-19 test. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about it.
So what's your thoughts? Should he celebrate it? I mean, because they haven't won the World Series in what? How long?
I don't think the whole point of, like...
I mean, it's not okay.
Like, it is, like, because he wasn't even playing, right? I mean, he wasn't in the game. I don't think, was he?
Yeah, he was in the game. And then he got his results. To my understanding, was he in the game, Nick? Look and see.
Because the thing is,
He got his results like...
Well, this is one thing I would say is like this. If he did play, how in the world did they not have his results back before that game started?
That's a good question.
Come on, man. Come on. Because, you know, my thing is like, why? Because if you I would just assume that they're testing you before the games happen in a fashion where they would have your results back.
See,
before you would go on there. So the bigger question is how did they not have those results back prior to that game starting?
Okay.
That's my question.
Now, go ahead, Nick.
On Twitter, Mr. Turner said, "Thanks to everyone reaching out. I feel great. No symptoms at all. Just experience every emotion you can possibly imagine. Can't believe I couldn't be out there to celebrate with my guys. So proud of this team and unbelievably happy for the city of LA." This is what he tweeted 3 days ago.
But I'm wondering, did he play? I thought that some of the guys were saying that they were down there with him, but he came out on the field with his mask and his wife with her mask. So they were still out. Shouldn't they have been quarantined?
Right. Yeah.
But I'm like, the World Series 2020. Would you have, knowing you're part of the team, World Series, would you have gone on the field, it's outside, maybe stood down the way or something like that?
They shouldn't have been in the building.
Nah, Not at all.
He shouldn't have been I'm like, why is you there? You know, he shouldn't even been there. He should have been watching it from the comfort of his home.
Oh, he should have been on a Proctor somewhere, and they said, "Hey, shoot him live at home."
Yeah, like he don't need to be there. Like if he got it, he don't need to be there. I don't understand that.
See, my understanding was that they found out there. That was my understanding. It is that they found out there. I don't know. And some people feel like that was irresponsible. He didn't care about others. Some people like Mookie Betts said that he believes that Justin Turner should be suspended.
Well, it seems like a violation of what I mean. I just think like this: if you got it, why you there? You know, obviously, like it said something like, I think maybe I'm trying to read here. Maybe he tested positive prior to another game.
It was like really recent, and people feel like, well, I was down there with him. He doesn't have any symptoms. Some say that his selfish act ruined the Dodgers World Series victory and broke their heart. I didn't see where it didn't look like their victory was ruined.
I wouldn't go that far.
And but that was according to the Detroit Free Press. USA Today.
If he was out there, then he was wrong. If he knew he was out there and he was positive, regardless of whether you felt symptoms or not, I know that's your team and you want to be out there to celebrate with them, but think of your health and the health of others, especially your teammates. Because just because you didn't have no symptoms or, you feel great, you around one of your teammates, what if one of your teammates is immunely compromised and it's actually they get it and it takes their life? Think about it. He was being selfish in that aspect.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about saying he showed no symptoms, we realize now it doesn't matter if you have symptoms or not. If you can spread it, being asymptomatic doesn't give you a thing. It doesn't give you the ability to be able to say, well, because I'm not as sick, you won't be sick.
Okay, let me read the article written from USA Today. It was showing the world it was possible to safely return to work, providing health and safety protocols are followed. A phone call and subsequent irresponsible actions left a scar for all of the world to see. Commissioner Rob Manfred got the telephone call that LA Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner tested positive for COVID-19. He immediately telephoned Dodgers owner Mark Walter and president Andrew Friedman and ordered them to get Turner off the field quickly as possible. So again, my assumption is that he was actually playing. Turner was removed and ordered to stay in isolation in a room outside the clubhouse. So the answer would be yes, he was there. The game wrapped up, the World Series trophy celebration commenced, and Manfred left the field, only for Turner to return and join the celebration. So he was in the game. Like I thought that other players were saying, well, I was down there with him. You know what I mean? He was in the game, pulled off the field, told him his results are positive. So they've been exposed. So maybe he just felt like, okay, well, y'all been exposed. I got a mask on. I'm coming to celebrate. I'm here.
Man, the whole thing is, I don't believe that they didn't have those tests back before that game started. And they,
you don't? Okay.
No, but what good is the test? What good is the test if you're going to give the guy the results after the game? Or into the game or whatever. Like, what was the whole point of that? The whole point is you want the environment to be corona-free. So why would you have any... Who else got their test results? Negative results. Who else got their results within the middle of the game? Come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like to me that team, and I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist here, that they knew he had a negative, that he was positive,
and they just told him they needed to win. And just, you think that's it? Okay. Fresh off the press, Bernie Sanders tweeting now. Bernie Sanders says that Donald Trump has gotten $885 million in subsidies for his real estate empire. He's just talking about all Trump's money that he got. Free health care at 100%. Yes, Trump, this is what I wanted to say. This is what Bernie Sanders tweets. Everybody tweeting. This is just too much for me. Yes, Trump loves socialism for himself. Rugged individualism for the rest. Do you agree with that statement?
Yes.
I know you do. He loves the bird.
Yes.
He loves a bird. That just came through. I was like, let him know this. We talked about Ice Cube and we talked about D.L. Hughley and his thoughts. Do you guys, last week, do you feel the same way? As far as regarding that pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, that you don't have anything to offer, just stay in your lane. You're a rapper, just go ahead and make movies and rap versus be an activist. Because that's what
I don't know if that was his intent. I just kind of I think the issue is I think there were some things that were maybe not spoken. Like, for example, I don't know what Ice, and I'm not saying that he didn't. But what advocacy did Ice Cube do around the Black Lives Matter movement? I don't know if he. I mean, did he? I don't know.
I don't know, but that Black Lives Matter movement. You already know how I feel about that because it's an organization. I believe in social. I'm with the social injustices. I'm with that movement. Roogle, what's happening in the movie world?
All right, we got some bad, sad news today.
Oh, what you got?
Well, Sir Sean Connery has died at 90 years old. He was best known for his role as James Bond, and he won an Oscar for his role in the movie Untouchable.
Wait a minute, Bond. James Bond.
Yeah, he's no longer with us, but he left us a lot of great work, So there you have it. He's been laid to rest. Well, I don't know if he's been laid to rest, but he's died. And he had a long life. He was born in 1930, and he died in 2020. So
1930. That's nice.
I mean, 90 years old.
90 years old. That's nice.
Yeah,
that's a blessing.
He accomplished what he set out to accomplish and much more.
He got a catalog.
Right.
Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
Oh,
catalog.
You're welcome.
Yeah. On a brighter note, Letitia Wright it's her birthday today.
Who is Letitia Wright?
She's from Black Panther. She's Shuri from Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
Okay, girlfriend. Happy birthday.
Today's her birthday, so that's great. Okay, so since we are in the Halloween... Oh, I got some other news to get out the way. John Riley, he's to write and direct the new Paramount thriller for Blumhouse. You know who John Riley is?
John
Riley, he won an Oscar for writing 12 Years a Slave.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he has a deal with to make a paranormal thriller for Blumhouse. So so that's going to be great. The film is based on the recent published article, Project Poltergeist. So
that's scary.
He's gonna do that. But the reason he's an African American man. And I believe he's African American. I know he's black. Right?
He's black. 1%.
He may not be African American, but the thing about that, it seems like Blumhouse has really been like our guest was talking about, like who are these studios associated with, and how do you do work with people who are more likely to give you a chance to do the work. So, I mean, there's been this renaissance of black horror, and Blumhouse has really been one of the people behind that. They were behind Get Out, and I believe us as well.
Okay.
And they're also behind I believe they're with the new Candyman that's coming out.
I'm scared of that movie.
Well, hey, the first one was no joke. but which I don't understand why they. I thought about my list. My list was messed up because I didn't talk about.
You forgot about Candyman.
I forgot about Candyman, and I forgot about Hereditary. My God, that movie.
I still haven't seen that. I have to get on it.
That Ari Aster, man, that dude is. I don't know. He on something else. But anyway, Blumhouse is giving. It seems like it's giving an opportunity for Black filmmakers to do some exciting things in horror. So I'm looking forward to see what he does with that. Did we talk about Lovecraft Country
last time? Yeah, we did. We talked about that.
Yeah, we did. Well, it wrapped up. We don't know if it's going to be a second season or not, but I think they'd be crazy if they didn't.
Okay.
There you go.
What's your? Go ahead, and then I'll ask you.
Oh, go ahead. No.
What's the scariest movie that you've ever seen from childhood to now?
Hereditary.
Go ahead, Nick. What's yours?
And I was a grown man.
Let's see. I would have to say the one with whatchamacallit where her head spun around.
The Exorcist?
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
Never seen that. I saw Candyman.
Candyman was scary.
Let me tell you.
The Exorcist is the end all be all of all of them.
Who?
Because it was actually.
How many of y'all, and it's only just two of you, by the show of hands, how many of you guys and the listening audience ever stood in the mirror with the lights off and said Bloody Mary?
Not I. I wasn't crazy.
See?
I haven't done that.
And that, like with Candyman, and that was it with Candyman, because let me tell you, I was going to be a Bumblebee today, but I thought that was too close to the Candyman thing. I was like, maybe I'll be a Bumblebee. That's kind of cute. That's fun.
I wonder if you sung the song Candyman, would he like, let's say you was getting ready to go out using it in front of the mirror. He's like, the Candyman can make the world feel good.
You know what?
What would happen?
Candyman a lot that song, man.
What would happen?
So don't sing that song in mirrors.
Not doing it.
Go ahead.
Not doing it. Now I'm going to ask you as the movie guy, it seems like all the old shows they're trying to do a reboot, like they're talking about doing a reboot to the Moesha show. Like,
yeah.
Why?
I don't know I think the thing is, I don't know if you do the issue is
Punky Brewster.
Yeah. I don't know if those shows are being they might be rebooted in a sense to where, like, okay, there's reboot where you just say we're going to use the same IP, the same intellectual property, and then do it over again. And then there's like the type where you say, well, we want to continue it, and we're are they bringing back Brandy to play Moesha and all that kind of stuff as an adult or whatever?
Or Moesha has a baby.
Like how they did how they did Roseanne, for example.
And Full House.
Full House.
Do you think that those should have been a reboot, though? Or just, where's the creativity? My thing is, where's the creativity?
I don't think you need to reboot it, but I think sometimes it's interesting to see, like, if it's characters you really like, well, how would those writers interpret them from not being that teenager, but being that adult? And then see that energy is still there.
I think in Roseanne, I think that is, what is it called now? It's not called Roseanne after that.
It's called The Connors.
The Connors, okay.
I've never watched it.
I saw it the other day, and Darlene still looks the same. Yeah. She still looks the same. But I'm just like, let it go. Like, can we get creative? Where's the creative writing at? Like Different Strokes. I like Different Strokes. I like Good Times. I don't see nobody doing a reboot of the Good Times. Or what they gonna do? Come in there with Thelma gonna have a Birkin bag? Like what?
Well,
that would have been Winona.
First of all, like, how many of them is still alive?
Well, Winona just passed.
Yeah, so it's only JJ.
What is it, Jeanette Dubose? Is that her name?
Yeah, Jimmy Walker. And
Jimmy look 1,000.
Yeah, he do. He look old. Janet Jackson.
Janet looked the same. She's so beautiful.
I mean, because even Michael, didn't the guy who played Michael, the actor who played Michael?
Man, he looked 88.
No, he look old. He look old.
They had some rough times.
Yes.
And James,
what about the Martin remake though?
Wait a minute. Let him finish it. Then we're gonna go with you.
I was gonna say, what's his name? John Amos. I think he's alive.
Yeah, he's on. Was it Blackish? No, that's
no. He's going to be in the Coming to America. I believe he's casted in the new Coming to America.
Coming to America too. Now that's not a reboot. That's a continuation. Why don't they just call it that? All right, go ahead, Nick.
I mean, that's part of the issue.
Go ahead, Nick.
I thought that Martin and they were supposed to be making the continuation because they didn't call it a reboot. They just said they were bringing Martin back.
I think that'd be good.
What else?
I liked Martin.
I know Queen Latifah at one time was talking about bringing back Living Single, but a couple of the actors and actresses there was like, okay, we heard about it, but nobody reached out to us yet.
Okay.
So there's a couple of them that I would like to see at least one show, like with a different world. Where are they now? You know, in their adult life. I would like to see that. I really would. That would be, especially with Whitley and Dwayne Wade.
The different world that ain't coming back. He live in a different world. He locked up. Bill Cosby, and they pulled that because remember that was a continue. Wasn't that him? Yeah, with Lisa Bonet, and then she got pregnant and took her off the show.
Yeah, he was like the executive producer.
Yeah, so that ain't working.
TV still playing the reruns.
Well, they still play the reruns, so shout out for playing the reruns. But where is the creativity? It's like, okay, now here's the thing. We're the adults. We're the adults now. These are shows that we enjoyed when we were coming up. So we are the people that are probably like, hey, that was a great show when I was younger and want to do a reboot. Stop. It's us that's actually doing it. Where's the creativity? Write a play. Like,
I think the issue is that it's what Hollywood is accepting. And they're like, okay, this already has a built-in audience, so we know that we can make some money off of it.
So it's not taking chances. That's it in a nutshell. Okay, we're not going to take any more chances.
The chances that you bring it back and it's a flop. You know, didn't they bring back Will and Grace? And I think they canceled it already.
Man, I didn't watch the first one.
I never watched it either, but I think they brought it. But anyway, it's weird because some stuff I would kind of like to see if I would like to see it, but
I want people to be fearless. Just go out there, just do it and see how it works. Like Blackish, I like Blackish.
Yeah,
I watched it.
I like Blackish too,
and it's I know you got me watching it. And when I watched it, I was like, okay, and that's a new thing. Don't come 10 years later talk about, or 20 years later, we're going to reboot Blackish. No, come out with something different. Go ahead, Nick.
Speaking of Blackish, they were talking about bringing back Girlfriends too with Tracy Ellis Ross. They were talking about bringing that back.
Now, go ahead.
I watched Girlfriends recently because it was on Netflix, and It seems like I don't know what the thing would be because actually it ended like incomplete.
Yes,
like it was like the last season was only like maybe 10 episodes or something of that nature, whatever. You know, I think like if you bring back stuff like that, if you brought it back and it was a movie or like a mini series and no more than 8 episodes, but if you're trying to run it and it's going to be like 24 episodes, sometimes those shows don't really stand up to that. You know what I mean? Because it's like we're seeing the same thing repeat itself. When I use Girlfriend, for example, Joan, which was the character that Ross played, every week it was like her in and out of a relationship or her trying to hang on to a relationship or whatever like that. Like that trope is kind of old. So I mean, they bring it back because she was supposed to get married, but then the guy came back from war, and it kind of you don't know what happened. So if they bring it back, is she going to be married? Is she going to? Because the whole thing was kind of driven off of like these women sort of embraced each other because of like problems in their relationship. That's how I viewed it. But they
which was to me a watered down version of Living Single.
Yeah, I mean,
and the Golden Girls mixed up all in one. The Urban Golden Girls.
I just think like I would say that Girlfriends was probably a little bit more dramatic than Living Single. Like I can't really think of any like thing that was like a strong topic in Living Single that was like, oh, this is a stop and think moment. You know what I mean? I can't, but Girlfriends had a few of those things. They dealt with, actually, there was a police issue with her son, with one character. I can't think of her name right now. Maya's son. Yeah. So they had some issues. They had some things that came out that were kind of like, it was more, I mean, it was a comedy, of course, but it dealt with some issues that I really didn't see reflected in Living Single. But again, if you bring back those things, don't give us 24 episodes of it. Do some really good writing and let us see something that's gonna, be like, okay, I can appreciate how they brought it back versus just trying to bring back the same old thing, and then you get kind of caught up in that monotony.
True. What was your favorite childhood show?
Favorite childhood show? Wow. I don't know. A-Team, maybe Buck Rogers.
The A-Team. What was yours, Nick?
Oh, it's hard. I had something with the Jeffersons.
That was a good show. That was a good show. I don't want them to reboot that. I had enough of that, just like they did like with Karen. Now you got Karen. Whatever happened to Felicia? Did she finally leave? Remember for me, everybody, bye Felicia. Did Felicia finally leave and everybody got Karen now?
No, we got Karen because every time you turn around, there's a Karen calling the police on black folks for doing something that they do every single day. The white folks do too.
We had Karen a long time ago. Somebody always telling Roogle.
Yeah.
You got a Karen? You got Karen in your neighborhood?
I don't think so.
You don't stay long enough, huh? You be like, I don't be home long enough to be sitting there worried about who telling on me.
In that neighborhood, ain't no Karens in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, Felicia. You say you got a whole lot of Felicias over there. You were like, bye, Felicia. That's where Felicia at over there.
No Karens.
Yeah, all the Felicias stay over there. We got a mix over here. We got some Karens and Felicias over on this side. When I was in Boardman, there wasn't nothing but Karens.
Hey, listen, it's fall. Don't forget to turn your clocks back. Don't forget to turn your clocks back. Fall back. Yes, you get an extra hour of sleep. And if you at work, you work an extra hour.
Yeah.
The only way that works out for me is if I'm scheduled to work night shift on when the clocks go back, please put me on to work night shift when the clocks spring forward in the spring. That's the only way I feel like I'm not being cheated.
Actually, no, I don't have to work tonight, so I get that extra hour of sleep tonight. Yeah.
Good for you. You worked last night?
No.
Good for
I'm
you.
off Fridays and Saturdays from that job.
Good for you. Working it. Roogle, what you think about the fall back? I still be late for church.
So it's going to get darker earlier. And
it's already darker earlier.
What?
It's like pitch black. I'm like, what the world?
Yeah.
But it's going to be really darker earlier. Like 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
It's already dark. I be sitting there, I'm a nervous wreck, like, Hey, listen, last week's show was Smile Through Your Trials, right? So I was talking to a friend of mine. And at this time it wasn't, I guess he wasn't able to smile, but he thought about his issues. And this particular incident, he didn't mind me sharing, so I'll be like that, y'all. This particular time, his wife was cheating on him, right? So, now y'all got to follow me. His wife was cheating on him and with this married guy. The married guy's wife called him to let him know that my husband and your wife is cheating. You know, they hooking up. That's why I don't play that work wife, work husband. Roogle said it was okay. You remember that, Roogle? Oh, it's okay.
I remember it.
However, and Nick said it was not okay. Well, listen, so I'm talking to him on the phone. I'm down at Quaker Steak in, what was it, Sharon? Is that Sharon? That little part? Like you do a hopscotch, boom, you in Sharon. Like you right there, jump out again, do double dutch out, jump out the rope, you and Farrell, right? So I'm down there and we're talking and he tells me, he was like, when she called, talking about, well, it was her idea, the wife's idea. Well, I think we should hook up. So he figured it'd be on some get back. Yes, child. Get some get back. And he was down, so he go to meet the girl, right? He said, he was all like, yeah, talking to her on the phone the whole night. He didn't see her. When he seen her, he was like, nah, never mind.
Wow.
He said never mind. So this was his opportunity to be on some get back to cheat too. Cause she actually reached out to him. The wife actually reached out to him and he was like, never mind. Take his wife
That
back.
would have been the ultimate hurt too when the spouse was found out.
You think that would have?
We got together. Oh, that would have been the killer right there.
And I think that's probably what she was thinking. What you think about get back, Roogle?
I think get back is you know, they say revenge is a dish that's the best served cold. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And then some say that the best revenge is living a good life. So I just kind of feel like if you're trying to get back, what's the issue? Because get back to me means you want to get back because you feel broken or hurt in some kind of way instead of just moving on.
Yeah.
And then sometimes your get back plan, if it's done too quickly, it doesn't make you look foolish. You know what I mean?
And it does. And I will say this, the end result is that particular, they're not together. The wife that called her and her ex-husband, now they're not together. But that was funny, man. How you gonna sit there like, yeah, I'm about to get back. I'm about to have, look, I get to get a free pass to have sex with a stranger because that's what it was. You go to meet the stranger. They want to know where you at. You done seen the stranger. You like, check please. I changed my mind. Like, she wasn't what he thought that she was gonna be. And he's like, nope. So like Nick said, that would have been the ultimate get back. But he was like, nah, I'm cool. He was like, my little man was like, He said, I don't think I'd have been able to work. like what the heck is going on?
Well, I don't know.
Yo, no.
I think the better revenge would have been him just finding somebody that he really liked, and then you run into somebody and they see you happy. They be getting mad,
Mad because you happy?
Like, I think that would have been a better revenge.
Mad because you happy.
Done that twice. But my first ultimate get back, no, I have to say, speaking of my first ultimate get, that was a good one. That was a good one because I went on about my business, but it was who I went on about my business with. That left a scar.
What you do?
Hear me? It was supposed to because of everything you put me through.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you get back. What you do, Nick? You gonna tell it or not?
Huh?
No, that means I ain't gonna tell it.
Listen.
Brother, hey, what's that sound?
He didn't say nothing to me, but he said something to the distant relative.
Gotcha. Uh-oh. You hear that sound?
I know that sound.
What's that sound?
That sound is Mel.
Hey, lovely people. We know today people are trick-or-treating. Some people canceled all of it. But let me tell you this. We're going to talk about diabetes. Listen, the sugar babies don't taste the same. Before I had caramel in there, now it's just a ball of sugar. I tasted one. And it was team too much. I'm going to give you some quick symptoms on diabetes if your blood sugar is high. Now listen. I want you guys, if you feel as though that you have some of these symptoms or experience any of these symptoms, please contact your primary care physician. Put it out there already. If your blood sugar is high, symptoms, it's a medical emergency, okay? Excessive thirst, you urinate often, blurred vision, hungry, dry skin, drowsy, and slow healing wounds. Yes, you are really, really drowsy. And sometimes when your sugar is high, you're off. Now, they were talking about Wendy Williams. We talked about it last week. They were like, we think that she may be drunk, inebriated, or whatever on the show because she doesn't seem like herself. When you have diabetes, you don't seem like yourself, and the symptom does appear to others who don't know, it will appear that you are drunk. Shout out to you, Freeway, Yatasha Hill. I remember I was on the show before I was diagnosed. 1500 WASN. Shout out to you guys. Freeway said something was off when I was doing the show. She was like, I just didn't seem like myself. Something was off. Interesting enough, your girl, boom, diabetic. Type 1, to be exact. Blood sugar was over 1,000. Had no idea. And some people can't function that way. Blood sugar was just like sky high. And sometimes mine do raise high and sometimes it's low. Let me give you some symptoms of low blood sugar, which is a medical emergency as well. Dizziness, anxious, hungry, because you're trying to get it up. Blurred vision, weakness, fatigue, headache, irritable, mean. So you guys got to know. And sometimes you'll pass out if you're untreated. Same thing with high. You'll pass out. They call that a diabetic coma. Now, if you fooling around with them, they're sugar babies. Now, I love me the sugar daddy. Trust and believe. Roogle contact. But them sugar babies, let me tell you. See, the sugar daddies, they're nice and they got caramel in it. And they pay big. Versus...
Exactly.
Versus the sugar babies, I don't need no souvenir. So bye. Sugar babies, listen, them things will have you in a diabetic coma. It's all sugar. I had one. Usually I can just throw those back. I had one. I was like,
sugar baby is throwing that pain like a sugar daddy. I don't know.
You was like, All right. So again, for Mel's medical moments, watch out for these symptoms. High blood sugar, okay? Excessive thirst, urinate often, blurred vision, hunger, dry skin, drowsy, slow, and healing wounds. And what they say, what is it? Cool and dry, your sugar is high. So if you're scratching and itching. And then the low is, what is it? Something clammy. I can't remember. It was a little adage. It's going to come to me. But you need some candy. Okay? So that is it. We'll just go with dizzy and clammy. Because that's one of the signs. If you're lightheaded and dizzy, you'll be like, let me check my blood sugar, okay? Don't go out there. Don't be a hypochondriac and say, I'm dealing with this. I might have diabetes. Contact your primary care physician. And I wanted to bring that up because people don't understand. Let me say this about Wendy. I like Wendy. Wendy Williams, I'm talking about, when they said that maybe she was drunk, something's going on, she back on drugs again. She may be ill, and that may be her issue as well. But I will tell you, we feed off the energy of live studio audience. And it's hard during this time because what's happening is you don't have the energy of the people cheering. You are solely focused on your co-host. Like right now, I have 2 co-hosts. Nick's paying attention, but Rugo's not. So I got to have my own energy. You know what I'm saying?
I am paying attention.
So, you know what I mean? You feed you bounce off of each other. You need that. You definitely need that. I do have to sip tea or coffee because it's like, virtual. I need some coffee. I need some energy. But I ain't fooling with them sugar babies for real. What you do, you feed off of the energy. And now when you watch television and by being entertainment or you listen to radio or you're listening or you're watching us virtually, hey, listen, all the information is below. Contact YouTube, Shop Talk with Mel on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all those lovely social sites. Please, please, please like us because we like you. And that is it. But you feed off of the energy of others. You feed off the energy of others. Okay? Cold and clammy, you need some candy. There you go.
Okay.
All right, look, I'm
Or
like
in my
this.
case, a whole peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because a couple times I woke up, which I thank God for. Woke up, checked my sugar, it was like 46, and so this is the.
And that's low. Were you cold? Were you cold?
I can't remember. I just woke up out of and I was dizzy when I woke up, and I was weak, couldn't move. My husband got up and he went, and immediately after I checked my sugar, went and grabbed me a sandwich. It happened a couple times, so I'm like, because I could have slipped into a coma if I didn't wake up. So God was like, "Get your behind up," and I sure did.
Okay, so it's let me read it. Hot and dry, your sugar is high. Cool and clammy, you need some candy. That's it. I don't know who coined that, but that clearly I didn't remember it, but I do know some of the symptoms. You know, I'd be mixing it all up, but I thought that was a good way to remember what to do. So were you cool and clammy when your blood sugar was 46?
I think I was, especially really clammy.
Okay. Because see, it's usually 70 to 120. That's the range that they want you to be in. But that's it for Mel's Medical Moments. How you like it?
Like it a lot.
You liked it a lot? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So
Talking
take care of yourself.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Peanut butter and jelly. I haven't had that in a long time. See, we done talked about the gel for too long.
Me neither, but check this out. I did try pickles and peanut butter.
Twinkie?
No, not the Twinkie, but just the the peanut butter and the pickles together. And it was not bad.
Really? I hear like, what is it, celery and peanut butter? Pickles and peanut butter.
So we were supposed to have a challenge with that. We forgot.
Oh yeah, with but it was supposed to be the Twinkie.
It was a Twinkie.
Oh, it was a Twinkie.
The Twinkie.
I don't even know where you can buy the Twinkie at.
The
You get it
Twinkie.
online or something?
I don't know. We got to get it though. I don't know. It might be. Look, we might be on the waiting list. It might be back ordered with this whole COVID thing going on. So we just don't know.
Everything on back order. Wipes, toilet paper, everything. The Forever Roll from Charmin. That's definitely on back order. I've been on that list since March.
What's a Forever Roll?
Right.
Child. The Forever Roll, you can buy the stand. It comes with a stand. Forever Roll is one of them big rolls.
Oh, okay.
And it's supposed to last forever?
It's supposed to last you a couple months, that one roll. Depending on how much you go.
What?
How much is it?
The whole kit and everything, I think it's like $50. But it's worth it.
When you say kit, what does that kit include?
The heavy stand to put it on.
So you just like,
you can't
boom.
go on a regular toilet roll or toilet roll or whatever.
Yeah, they go
toilet
kit.
paper roll. You have to have one of them big stands because it's a big roll of toilet paper, and that has been on back order forever. I've been on the waiting list since March for that.
Oh.
Because all you got to do is buy one of them a couple times a year and you good.
A couple times a year, probably once a year.
No, I think like every 2 or 3 months. Depending, like I said, depending on your household size, how many times everybody go.
Well, isn't that like buying a whole, what is it, buying a 12-pack? Or,
no, it's one big old roll.
But I'm saying, if you buy a 12-pack for $12, wouldn't that last you 2 months?
Listen, you might have to buy a couple 12 packs to compensate for this big old roll. Charmin wasn't playing when they made that.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Charmin. What you got, Roogle? Anything good for us?
Yeah, I'm looking up this whole thing about this Twinkie thing that we were talking about.
Okay.
This is brought to me by KGTV. It says, is Hostess really coming out with the peanut butter and pickle sandwich, Twinkie? No. Since our story aired, the Hostess spokesperson revealed to the Today Show that it's a fake. Hostess tweeted out a picture of peanut butter and pickle sandwich, a peanut butter pickle sandwich Twinkie with the caption, "Only the real ones know about these." So,
Only the real who?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, supposedly. So I don't think it's a thing.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know that. You ready? Look at Nick's shoulder.
I had to learn this whole routine. Me, my brother, and my cousins, because we had to perform this every year. The park over the Buell Park over in Sharon, Pennsylvania, they would have a Buell Day beginning like Labor Day weekend, and we were in the parade. We were in summer parades because my brother, he got into modeling, I got into modeling, and the lady he modeled for called him to her little Michael Jackson therapy because he used to like.
And that's what he had to do.
Outfit, the beaded jacket.
There you go. No beaded jacket. Thriller jacket. Thriller jacket and beaded jacket are two different things.
Right, but he had the beaded jacket, but then we started doing other routines, and then we did the Thriller routine. We had to do it for all these people at the park, but my mom made us practice day in and day out.
You got to do it right. Listen, if you're going to do something, you have to do it right. So kudos to your mother. I am with that. Hey, lovely people. It sounds like we done came on to the end of the show. I got my little candy bags. I had candy bags for you, too. I got them for both of you guys. Yes, I got the candy bags, and it's full of, look at there, sugar babies.
All right.
Yay, let's see. No sugar daddy in that one. No sugar daddy in that one. Can't get, no sugar daddies. Now, they might have the sugar mama somewhere, but we ain't got no sugar daddy, so we gonna let that be. You got any last words, live studio audience? Yay, nay? Oh, the live studio audience whispering. We're social distancing here at Shop Talk with Mel, so they said no, far apart. I miss you guys. I can't wait till you guys can come back into the studio.
I know.
Yeah,
we really cut up in the studio together.
See what I'm saying? That's why I need y'all to turn up now so I understand Wendy Williams and the issue she's having. She got her live studio audience. That's her audience now. It's her staff. The staff live studio. But I'm going to tell you, they kind of cornball. They kind of phony because they were like, oh, they'll be clapping. Is that? But there's nothing like the energy of people.
I've watched a couple of nighttime talk shows and stuff like that, like the Tonight Show and stuff. It really isn't the same.
It isn't the same because I'm telling you, as a host, when you're sitting there, especially when you're doing it, so you guys are helping me, when you're doing it all by yourself, and you be like, okay, well, I know all the energy that I have, but the people around you, just like when people will zap you for your energy, the people around you, they could either take your energy or bring energy to you. And the problem is, when she's sitting there and, listen, she has her live studio audience. I should do something like that, have the live studio audience virtually.
How long is her show?
Her show is an hour. Yeah, we do it for 2. But I be on my own high. I'm like,
y'all be laughing at me and my animated faces.
Yes, if people can see you. But when you have the listening audience, you got to give them the picture of what you're doing. And honey, let me tell y'all, the listening audience, before we close this show, I got this wig on, I got these lashes on, and this makeup on, and this is a lot, and the sister is hot. I'm like, oh, this is a lot. Now, I throw me a good ponytail on. Woo, but this here wig thing, and then you got to tie your hair down, then you got to put this on and hope your wig don't fall off from a bar sign. You know, shout out to Nick in the bar sign snatching her wigs off. I ain't got that to do. I just don't have that to do. But it's really hard, and it's when you start your show because you want to give people a good time. So the reason I'm bringing this up, just lay off Wendy if you feel as though that she's, backslid or drinking or drunk. Just pray for her because she's probably going through something. She might have to say, hey, I need to take a sip to get through this here time. You know what I mean? To come and entertain the lovely people. We deal with the hot topics as well, but you need that energy. You need, you feel the energy. Like I can see when, I've been on her show as far as not a guest, but been in the audience, and the energy is amazing. And when she comes out of those double doors, everybody's screaming. So now she has her studio audience as her staff, and they're just like, and they try to be hype, but they're not. And then things that I'm laughing at home watching her, they're not. And it's like we feed off of it, be like, what? Then you get the whole animation. You get all of that stuff when you have someone that you communicate with. You ever told a story to somebody and they really into it and you be like, what? Let me show you. And y'all know I'm animated, so I can't get up right now. But I'll be like, let me tell you what happened. And this happened and that happened. And, and then you're excited because they're excited. But when you don't have that same energy being reciprocated, it's hard. Y'all both actors and actresses. Y'all know it's hard. So when you get on stage and you know that you left a pause there for somebody to laugh and they don't laugh, then what do you do?
And they don't laugh. That's a hurt piece. Like,
so, but you have to keep bringing it. You can't leave off the show, can you? Can you leave off the stage, Roogle?
The show must go on.
The show
gotta go on.
The show must go on.
But I just kind of think that, I don't know, her show ain't really. I think people are more excited because they have the option to be on TV, and maybe these people might give us something. It might be something under our chair or something like that.
I like her. I went. And I didn't go just for that. I went for the excitement. I wanted to feel the energy. And the energy was there because when you go, you have to wear bright colors. You have to, and they'll tell you have to wear bright colors, da 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 da. The whole night. I wore bright colors. I wore all different colors to match. I didn't get no diva fan. I didn't even want a diva fan. I just wanted to feel the energy. And I felt the energy was amazing. Huh?
What's a diva fan?
A diva fan is like if you like best dressed or something like that. And then one of our people that came in our group, shout out to you, honey. May you rest in peace. She was the one. I'm looking like, where is Honey at? She was right there. Honey down front asking the question. Ask Wendy. I said, what? So you can catch that where she, I forgot what doctor was on there. It was like a weight loss doctor or something like that. But yeah, girlfriend was right behind me. Then she disappeared. What is going on? But she got on the show.
I show a couple of years back in 2011.
Which show?
Dr. Oz.
What's the energy? You were on it? You're an audience?
Yeah.
Now,
Betty White was on there when she wrote her.
Okay. Now, how was the energy of the audience, though?
The energy was good, but of course, when you're an audience, they tell you when to clap and when to stop, and
yeah, they'll tell you that. But what about did you feel the energy of the other people, the excitement?
Oh yeah.
See, it's something to that. So let's not dog my girl Wendy Williams out. Shout out to you, Wendy Williams, doing your thing, and you've been keeping it going for a long time. And my thing is the staff, which is the studio audience, get it together. If y'all that concerned, pray on it, because guess what? That's y'all check too. Because if she gone, y'all gone. But yes, so you feed off of the energy of other people. And when you're on stage, like I said before, and you guys vouch for me, when you are on stage, the show must go on. If you got 8 or 8,000 in the audience, you have to perform like it's 8,000 and pray that you don't have those cornball people sitting up front that's like this.
Right. Because, baby, listen, you was stressed that day we had to play. You was like, little things went on. You knew it. You was like, yeah. Do it.
Doing
this. You got to keep, you was like this. Keep going. Like,
yeah, you ain't about to, you will not, especially that one time about something. She was like, Miss Mel, I'm so nervous. I was like, showtime. Whoop.
Exactly.
She was like, hey, Johnny. Yes, we doing it. I ain't got time for that. It's time to perform. It's time to entertain. People paid to see a show, and you have committed. When you signed that contract, you have committed to entertaining people and giving them a show. So entertain them. I don't care if you're sick, anything. And people always want to blame people. And a lot of men, and I'm going to say this, a lot of men, they have that Adam syndrome. Yeah, look at me, like, blame somebody else. No, stop self-sabotaging and blaming others for what your successes or your non-successes, inadequacies. Just read it, research it, do it, keep studying, sharpening yourself to get yourself prepared to know the show must go on. Whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve, let me do it and not blame anybody else. For those of you who don't know what the Adam syndrome is, men are prone to do this. And you know what the Adam syndrome is? Roogle?
I can imagine.
What is that?
I think it has something to do with that whole Apple.
It does. It does, because guess what?
But you did it. But you did it.
No. You're blaming Eve. You're blaming Eve. Listen, you blaming Eve for eating that apple, but the instruction was given to you.
Exactly.
So again, that whole, and you're right, that whole Adam syndrome, go on somewhere. Quit blaming other people. You did it.
Sometimes the company you keep will get you in trouble.
The company, now I agree with you.
And he had no choice. He was by himself.
Nope.
How strong your mind is.
Tell him, Nick.
Stronger than that.
Tell him. The instruction was given to you. Now, if you chose to waver, you can't blame Eve for you eating an apple. So we gonna agree at that. Hey, listen, we running over. Listen. That is my time, lovely people. I thoroughly enjoyed you, as I do each and every single Saturday. You know what it is. Like us on all socials. I do Be Inspired. If you want to catch the Be Inspired, you can go to youtube.com. youtube.com/Shop Talk with Mel. And you can catch the old Be Inspired, because they're up there for you to do better. Okay? All right. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people. Shop Talk right here on Spreaker.com. And don't forget, listen, on any of your favorite podcast channels, look us up. Let's Shop Talk. That's what we are. That's what we do.